To deny the existence of God at this stage of scientific progress is the greatest delusion of mankind. Whether there is God or there is no God, the exact answer is not given by science. The higher mind is not comprehended by us, and we do not see its manifestations in order to prove its existence. However, why then did the great scientists identify God with the universe? The most striking example of this is Albert Einstein, who categorically denied the label atheist and called himself an agnostic. Agnostics do not deny the question of the existence of a divine or supernatural manifestation, but they do not confirm it either, due to the lack of methods and tools for comprehending the issue. It's important to understand that God for agnostics is not a person, not an individual. However, many people consider themselves to be atheists, often denying even the very concept of God or supreme mind. There is science, there is a scientific method and analysis, but there is no proof of God. We agree that in this situation, the denial of the divine component is the only true outcome. The logic of atheists is understandable, but even correct in some sense. The big but. There is a very big nuance in trying to explain our world order, excluding the divine influence on it. We have already reached the theories of parallel worlds, which, like God, are unprovable. What do we end up with today? Unprovable scientifically accepted theories and unprovable divine influence that is not accepted by science. Yes, it's basically the same thing. Well, what then is the truth, and where is it? Somewhere nearby or very far away. And how did science, in an attempt to deny the higher mind, come down to theories that are also unprovable? For questions, let's figure it out. How was our universe born? The Big Bang Theory explains well the processes that took place immediately after it, but what caused the Big Bang and what is the causal nature? And there are no explanations for this. In an attempt to bring at least some clarity, scientists began to put forth new theories. For example, the ekpyrotic scenario of the birth of the universe, described in the work by Justin Horry in collaboration with Bert Overt, Paul Steinhardt, and Neil Turek in 2001. The theory explains well the birth of our universe and the Big Bang itself, and is based on the theory of strings, membranes, and extra dimensions, that is, on something that cannot be proven today. God is not known where outside our universe, and at his will can create new worlds. And brains that in the experimental theory are located somewhere outside our universe, and their vibrations with subsequent collisions generate universes. What's the difference? Only in one. The ekpyrotic scenario is a scientific theory accepted by the scientific community, and the theory of divine creation is not recognized by science, although both theories explain the origin of the universe equally well and are equally unprovable. We'll never be able to see, touch, and test it anyway. In our material world, scientists are faced with the effect of the so-called external observer, because of which a dilemma arose. Interpreting the laws and consequences of quantum mechanics, the scientific world faced a choice: to introduce the concept of the external observer, God, who observes our universe as an isolated system, or to introduce the theory of parallel worlds, quantum consciousness, or other dimensions. Quantum mechanics. Thousands of scientific experiments have proven that in an isolated quantum mechanical system, the evolution of a material object occurs, that is, there is a change in the shape of the object and its structural integrity. The Schrödinger equation just predict exactly how this process will take place. But as soon as we begin to physically observe the object, stepping over the barrier of isolation, the object is collected in the previous form, but at a different point of coordinates. So any object in an isolated system is in superposition in all possible states and in all possible places of an isolated system at the same time. This has been experimentally proven, and is completely calculated using the wave function equation. In other words, at the moment the object is observed, its superposition collapses and the object appears in our material world in its previous form, but in a certain place, the probability of which determines the equation of the wave function. But collapse requires an outside observer, which can be either a person or any device or sensor capable of exchanging energy with an isolated system. For the collapse of the wave function, something must necessarily come from outside. What does it give us? Atoms of matter in an isolated system are always entangled with each other, and this is called quantum entanglement, which is also experimentally proven. Whatever is in an isolated system, objects, people, planets, galaxies, everything gets entangled with each other and is in superposition. And it should be so because experiments, calculations, and experiments show this way. But in the real world, we are in a certain place, interacting with specific particles of matter, getting entangled with them, but at the same time there is no superposition, and the world, although subjective, is the same for everyone and everywhere. The Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics attempts to explain this, but there are so many discrepancies and inconsistencies that this theory has been seriously criticized. The fact is that our universe, even expanding, is an isolated system, therefore everything that is in it must be in a state of superposition, which in reality is not observed. And if this is not the case, then everything collapses under the influence of external observer, the operator. In other words, there is something outside our universe that's capable of exchanging energy with it. And here the dilemma appeared before scientists, either to officially recognize an external observer, that is God, which causes the superposition of our universe to collapse, or to reorganize that we are all in a superposition here and now, that is, in all possible states and all possible places of the universe at the same time. This is how it should be according to the laws of quantum mechanics. They did not introduce God, but left many interpretations of quantum mechanics, multi-world interpretation, Copenhagen interpretation, interpretation of consistent chronologies, in addition to parallel worlds and the multiverse. It's funny when Everett's interpretation, the same MWI, many world interpretation, is seriously recognized as one of the leading ones in modern science, according to which it is proposed to get rid of the collapse of the superposition of the universe by moving from one universe to another. Yes, MWI describes that any of our decisions takes us to a parallel dimension in each of which the same laws of nature and the same world constants operate. So what do we choose? Yes, whatever. Proving anything is still impossible. Further, on the basis of MWI, theories of quantum immortality, quantum consciousness, etc. appeared. You cannot prove them either, but you can believe in them, just like believing in God, but with only one difference. To believe in God is unscientific. And if the problem of God is that we cannot scientifically prove it, then therefore it's impossible to accept the theory of divine origin in science. But at the same time, the Copenhagen theory is a science despite the Widner's friend paradox, which indicates that with the Copenhagen interpretation, objective reality cannot exist. It will all be in superposition. But it is customary to turn a blind eye to this and make excuses in every possible way in the style of, you don't understand, this is different. It's even worse at MWI. There it is absolutely to the light bulb how this jump to another universe is carried out and with what probability it occurs. As they say it will do, the point is that there is no God, the rest is fairy tales, they say. Physicists are so tired of contradictions and disputes that in 2014, a new theory was proposed, shut up and calculate, where parallel universes are described by the equations of classical physics. Quantum effects arise as a manifestation of the physical influence, energy exchange, of parallel worlds with each other, including ours. Therefore, the superposition of our universe collapsed. How? Congratulations, with the argument leading us to abandon quantum mechanics, and all because quantum mechanics without God, an external observer, turns into the semblance of faith, and faith in anything, not even the flying spaghetti monster. To start a movement, a push is needed, and to do this you need to break the balance in the absolute. Therefore, it turns out that the Creator's intervention in the creation of all laws, energy, space, living and non-living matter, is inevitable. And who is he for you? You can decide for yourself. God, Supermind, Creator, Absolute. This is on Soul Ask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.